right, so I'm with the IBF Continental Africa Junior Welterweight Champion Hedda Wolmarans. How does that sound?
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds pretty good. And you had to work hard for this one against Ruth Chizale. She really came all the way to make this a hard fight.
Oh yes, yeah. This was one hell of a tough fight. It was a war, start to finish. It was super hard. Hardest fight I've had. You know, different level all around. Yeah.
I wanted to ask how it compared to your previous fights because, you know, although the results on paper were, you know, tough, you had you went to points with like Colosa, for example. Like, how does it compare to those sort of fights?
It doesn't.
Okay.
There's no comparison. This was not just one level up. This was like a few levels up. Yeah, this was like real boxing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Is this the fight that you look at yourself and you think, well, now I can, you know, go that extra step because I had to go through this one?
Totally. Definitely. You know, I proved a lot to myself in this fight. Yeah, it just shows me like where I can go. I feel I'm much better than this.
And when you were hitting Ruth and, you know, you hit her with some good shots, particularly at the back end of the fight, could you feel your punches, you know, as much as you did in some of your previous fights?
She's tough, man. She wouldn't want to go down even when she got rocked. You know, she stood there. I think her experience maybe helped her there, and the fact that she's just super tough. Yeah, it was a lesson for me, you know, a lesson in patience, definitely.
It must have meant a lot to you to get the win because Ruth had beaten someone from Europe previously, and as well, that's also a hard thing to do, to leave your continent and get a win. So does that speak to you as well and say that you've done a good job here?
Oh, I didn't know that. So yeah, I guess it does. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that one, huh?
No.
Yeah, so she had the experience of, and the only previous loss she had was to an undefeated fighter in Zambia as well. So I mean, that's got to be a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing, you know, Hayden. I think I made this fight really hard for myself. Just in various ways. It was a big moment for me, you know. I think the big moment got to me a little bit in the beginning. But as the fight progressed, I settled and boxed the way that I want to box, you know. Yeah.
There have been talks about a rematch. You know, some people would like to see you and Ruth do it again. You know, what do you think about that?
I just want to say that it's great that people are saying that about a women's boxing fight that has happened in Africa. I think that's absolutely incredible. And yes, let's do the rematch. Bring it on.
So you finished that fight really, really strong. So that must give you confidence going into the next one, that if you can take that momentum that you finished with and begin with that momentum, you can make life a lot easier for yourself.
Yeah, totally, man. Look, I think it's going to come down to who makes the adjustments better. And I think we are capable of doing that. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about her missing weight because obviously it was a substantial weight. I think it was like 3 kilograms or something to that effect in and around there. What did you think of that? Because that must have impacted you slightly.
Oh, you know, it comes down to like professionalism, I guess. I was professional in making the weight and she wasn't. There were different excuses, you know, from her camp. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad the fight went forward and we got to dance under those lights together because it was absolutely incredible.
I say from my end as well, I've seen many people come on buses from far distances and make weight quite comfortably. So I don't know if that's really a legitimate excuse. But anyway, going on, you've got a lot of hate on social media. What's your thoughts about that? I mean, obviously this is new to you. You've obviously in the past seen a lot of love and support. So now you're getting hate. What is your thoughts?
Oh, getting a large amount of hate. It's pretty cool that people are talking about me, you know. So it really only benefits me. And listen, I like relish every sentence, every word, every letter, every punctuation mark. It just like gives me so much fuel.
Yeah, there were a lot of people talking about you. You were like the talk of the town over the weekend. I mean, there were other events happening as well, but you were still the talk. So that must be a good thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, listen, you know, people are talking about a women's boxing fight that happened in Africa.
Yeah.
How much better can it get? You know, so it's good for myself, it's good for Ruth, it's good for both of us, it's good for women's boxing. Like, you know, people are caught up in all the hate that's coming out, but the fact is, like, you're talking about it. That's great. Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of talk, a lot of exposure, and I wanted to talk about exposure as well because you got on what I deem to be the biggest platform now on African boxing, which is ESPN Africa, and you were the main events of the evening. Just that whole experience going from the weigh-in to the fight nights, and then obviously post-fights.
So like I didn't think too much about how big the platform is. Looks great. Like, I'm very grateful to them for putting me on their card. The thing was more for me was that I am fighting for a belt and fighting against someone with substantially more experience than myself, those were the two big things for me. But listen, like, what a great event, what an organized weigh-in. Things just ran like clockwork, at the weigh-in, on fight night, things were organized. That's how it should be done. Yeah.
And as I said before, we said this actually in the pre-fight interview, that a female fight being the main event of the evening, and I know you're big on this as well for the development, and I know ESPN are doing a female fight on every single one of their events. That's huge, isn't it?
It's huge, and I know there was a female fight on the undercard as well, which is really great, the undercard.
Yeah, the non-televised undercard, yeah.
Yes, which is also great. But remember what I said to you in the pre-fight interview. I said something like, we both deserve to be here. And we proved that we both deserve to be headlining this card. I mean, don't need to say more. Yeah.
What was it like sharing a dressing room with Boyd as well? He's also very meticulous and scientific about the way he approaches the game.
Yeah, man, it was cool. It was just cool to have a bunch of people that I know around me, we're all sharing the nerves. It's a very sort of a vulnerable space for everyone. Everyone is in their own little place of pre-fight nerves and preparations. Like, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
All right. I want to speak to your mentality now that you're the champion, and should this rematch happen, or should you defend the belt against someone else, do you take a different mindset in knowing that you're the champion now?
You know what? I don't care about the belt. It's cool to have it. That's nice. What is most valuable to me is that I went out there last week and I proved to myself what I can do and that I'm worthy of my own self-belief. And that's worth more than any belt. Yeah.
And, believing in yourself, when would you like to potentially be back in the ring? I don't see any marks on your face or anything like that. You just seem healthy, clean bill of health at least.
Yeah, man, I think, I took a bit of time off just to give my body a rest, and most of all, just give my mind a bit of a rest. Maybe next week or the week after, I'll get back into training and take it from there. I'd love to fight as soon as possible, I'm not early in my career anymore, so I need to take every single opportunity that I can get right now. I want to fight as much as I possibly can in the few years of boxing that I have left. Yeah, so bring them on,
Well, this was definitely a step in the right direction, Hedda. Obviously, becoming the champion, it worked out for you as well. It took the risk and got the reward.
Yeah, man, totally. Yeah.
All right, and just lastly, Hedda, do you have a message? This is actually a post-fight interview we're doing 5 days after the fight. Usually we do it in the dressing room. But anyway, do you have any thank yous, shout-outs for anybody?
Yeah, man, obviously my sponsors, I wouldn't be here without them. They've believed in me more than I've believed in myself over all these years. So, Janine Lazarus and Riaz Bayat from Bulgaria, you guys rock. And then my team, I've got the best team: Colin Nathan, Johan Truter, Scotty Mack, Sean Ness, you guys rock. And all my supporters, my family, my friends, they just, support me all the way no matter what. They're very understanding. Thank you very much.